Hi y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Marjorie Cook. Thanks so much for dropping by. If this is your first visit, welcome, welcome. If you've been here before, well, you just made my day. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll get a notice every time I upload a new episode. And it helps my channel grow too. If you have a second, we'd love to hear from you in the comments, whether it's a helpful hint about today's project or just a quick hello. Let's get started. This DIY is super simple. All you need is some sort of backing. Now mine happens to be three-dimensional. It is a little plaque, hanging plaque, shaped like a tag that I picked up from Dollar General. Now it's marked $5, but I think I paid like 50 cents for it. It was in one of their bargain bins at the end of last season. So the front piece on it, like the other side right there, it had something on the front of it that I took off and used on a different project last year. So I'm using the back side, and I'm going to cover the entire thing with a piece of wallpaper that I got at Michael's. It came in a kit, or a set basically, of about 50 different wallpapers. And it's actual wallpaper. You can wet down the back, you can apply it to a wall, you can apply it to anything. But I'm just going to stick this relief, a shadow relief that I cut with my Cricut of a cameo, a woman's profile. And then I'm shaping it's the really thick wallpaper to the wooden tag. And once I get it exactly where I know it'll fit, I'm using double-sided tape. I tried using the kind in the little applicator, but my applicators are cheap. They just totally didn't want to work. I ended up using the kind that comes on a roll. But anyway, I applied it with tape and pressed it down. This is so simple, y'all. I mean, I don't even know why I'm making a video of it, but it came out so cute, I had to. So yeah, see, I gave up on the little applicator one, and I'm just using my double-sided tape. This stuff holds really good too. So I'm just making sure that it's all on the wood. It's not hanging over the edges or anything, the tape. Then I get it all down flush and I flip it over and I use my little finger knife. I love the finger knife. I'll put a link in the description where you can pick that up on Amazon. They are so convenient and so comfortable to use. And then I just trim it right to the edge. And now I gotta make the bow because it's not complete without a bow. So I had this little scrap of wired ribbon and I trim that up, and then I'm cutting the wire off like I did in another project where I could turn the wire itself into tendrils. And it just makes for this really quaint, cute, feminine little bow. And now I've got a piece of lace ribbon. I'm cutting that in half to make an X. And I'm building it on a Jenga block because I want it to raise up just a little bit. I'm just really into fraying the edges of my ribbon. It's going to fray anyway, so I figure I'll just beat it to the punch and pull some of the strings off, and it just makes it look that much more shabby chic, I guess. And then I'm tying it with some jute twine. smoothen that over so it hides it. I'm sorry some of this is off frame, y'all. Now I'm getting those tendrils put in place. Those are the wires that I cut off the original bow. And I'm going to dovetail my ends. Attach that right to the top there. Knowing me, I probably forgot to turn on my hot glue gun. I'm either forgetting to turn it on or forgetting to turn it off. I need to get one of those Sherbonders that turns itself off. And there it is. Just delightful as all get out. Right now I've got it hanging on a wall in my foyer, but oh look, I added some ribbon across the bottom. I thought I was done. So there she is. Thanks so much for tuning in to this video. If you liked what you saw, if you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Right now I'm targeting for once a week, but hopefully I'll be doing more than that. And y'all have a really happy holiday this year. Bye now. Alright, for this DIY we're going to use one of these cute little clothes hanger frames from the Dollar Tree. After taking it out of the package and ripping it apart, we're going to paint the outside the color of our choice. I'm using ink by Waverly Chalk Paints. I'm just going to paint the outside and the inside first and then set that aside to dry. And then I'll go back later and off camera I paint the outside of the frame. And then I'm going to paint the inside with homemade chalk paint in white. And what I did with it was I did a coat horizontal and a coat vertical, and it made like this crosshatch, so it almost looks like woven fabric. It really is a nice effect if you want to try that. And then I'm using my plaid ribbon, and I played with several different bow designs for this one and ultimately settled on an X bow that I'm placing behind a bow that I had from last year that never actually got used on a project. It's like a lace bow with some of the shimmering sheer bow behind it. And so I'm just layering those up. And like I say, ultimately I decide to do an X bow. Just a single layer X bow behind the regular bow. And I'm just figuring out how big it needs to be. And I cut that in half because I want it to be just an accent right behind it. So I layer that out. Now you'll notice when I'm making the strips for the X bow, I cut off the wire from the wired ribbon, and I do something really cute with that. It's the first time I ever did it. So I fray the edges, and then I'm getting ready to assemble right now. Now check out the wires. I wrapped those around my finger, and I'll show you as I kind of redo them here in a second. And sorry, I'm being invaded by one of my cats now. Everybody say hi to, it's not on camera, it's just during the voiceover. Say hi to Bingo. Mr. Bing Crosby's joining us right now. So see, I wrapped it around my finger and I made it into a little spring. And I'm just attaching those right to the back so that they come off of the bow like tendrils. And they really hold their shape well because they're wired. And of course the fabric around them matches the bow, which is kind of nice. Just pull it around to the front, and I'm attaching the bow first before I do the sign decal so that I know how much room I have on the actual background to place my decal. And I measure that out using my little board, and I can go 3 by 4. So I go into design space off camera and I use my Cricut and I make my little "Dear Santa, can you define naughty" sign. And I, using transfer tape, apply that to my sign. Again, using the lines in my cutting pad to make sure that's straight. And then I go ahead and I pull out a ruler. Okay, bingo, bye. And make sure that I've got that straight. I am notorious for things being crooked. I just, I'm crooked. There was a crooked man who walked a crooked mile. Yeah, I'm that crooked man. So I was really trying hard to make sure this was level. And here, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm honestly not sure. Oh, apparently I had a glue gun disaster brewing. So anyway, fixed that up. Finished pulling my transfer tape. And made sure it was down real good. It started pulling up letters with it. And apparently I caught a thread. So there we have our sign. And it snaps back in real easy. And what's great about this is now you can use this sign over and over the frame, over and over again. It's not too holiday oriented in the exterior. It's, you could use it over and over again, the frame itself, with just a different piece of cardboard back there. I love the fact that it wasn't, fastened in. So you can kind of see the hatchwork that the paint made, the pattern on the background on this particular one, and I think it's just gorgeous. So if you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more DIYs on a budget. Alright, so we're going to make a really tall snow globe. It's not really a globe at all, it's a cylinder out of one of the vases from the Dollar Tree. I lost some footage. I lost the footage of staining this wood round that's also at the Dollar Tree in the Crafter's Corner. And I also lost the footage of giving the tree a haircut. It's a Dollar Tree bottle brush and then a Dollar Tree camper ornament. In order to get it to fit on the round underneath the globe, I had to trim away some of the bottle brush so I could glue the camper and the bottle brush together really, really closely. And so you just kind of eyeball that and you get it to where it fits. Then I wanted to raise it up a little bit so it was higher into that cylinder. So I used the Jenga blocks and just sort of made a platform for it. I didn't worry about leaving it natural or painting it or anything because it's going to be covered in the faux snow. And now I'm just kind of getting it where I want it. I'd already attached it once, so this is me scraping off my mistake. And I thought about editing out that footage, but then I thought, hey y'all, you know what? This is all sometimes trial and error. So when you're crafting at home, it's okay. Just scrape it off, shake it off, do it all over again. So here I go, building up my platform a little bit taller. So it's 3 high. We're camping on a mountaintop. And you can see where it's fluted out at the bottom, and it fits that round really, really well. This is where y'all can use this as like a math cautionary tale, because it's fluted out at the bottom. So it's bigger at the bottom than it is at the top. Well, it's upside down right now because, I'm filling it up with the faux snow. So I'm thinking, how much of this faux snow do I need? Because this stuff is a hot mess. If you get it out of this globe, you ain't never getting it back in, right? So I'm thinking, I'll just go double the height of what I need because it's going to spread out a little bit. Okay, spatial relationships in math is important because I now had the blizzard of 2020 happening inside the snow globe, and now I have to take some of the snow out. And I'm not happy because it's going to get all over everywhere. So I decide to put a little bit of water in it. So I spray some water in it and I pour some out, and yeah, now it's stuck all over the side. So at some point I actually try to like dry it through the glass. I don't know what I was thinking. But I'm like, we'll heat it up and, we'll get it to fall down. But I'm gluing it all together anyway, so I can capture any more of these styrofoam balls. One thing I did do earlier on was after I had stained it with antique wax, the base there, is I went ahead and put a sparkling varnish around the outside of it. So it would have a little bit of a shine. And then I'm just, gluing it down. And this is when I realized that I'm going to have to cover up the base a little bit because it's not being super pretty with all the glue. If I had to put this in either a success or a fail column, I think it would be closer to the fail column. Here I am. This is me. I'm heating up the styrofoam so it will fall down into the globe. And I'm just blowing it off my desk because I don't care if it hits the floor now. I'm just like so frustrated with these little styrofoam balls. This did not work. Just so y'all know. Doesn't work. So now I'm taking some red and white poinsettia ribbon and covering the bottom. So I didn't even really need to put the sparkle varnish on it because I'm covering it right. And I'm looking at it going, okay, maybe it needs a little something else. So I walk around and I grab some of my jute ribbon and I walk back around. I get something else. My sparkle tape. Do I want to cover the whole thing? Nope. I'm going to just cut off a little piece with my handy dandy paper cutter. I fold it in half so it'll fit inside the paper cutter all at once. I chop off a little slice, put that back away. I've since rearranged my craft room so I don't have to walk all the way around the table. My previous videos I had filmed from the back side, thinking I would have had to set up my tripod on the other side. I'm still learning, y'all. I'm sorry, but I will get it right. But I don't have to walk all the way around my desk for supplies anymore, which is kind of nice. And then I tape this on, realizing, of course, that there are angles involved. Again, with the math class, spatial relationships, geometry, angles, all of these things are important. If you need to play this for your high schooler, you can tell them that I was them and I knew I would never use any kind of math when I grew up. And I don't know how many times I've cussed out my high school algebra teacher because he was right. I totally should have paid attention. So now I'm going to make a little bow, just a simple little circle bow. And I'm going to do that by making a circle, pinching it closed. And this is a sateen ribbon, so that's why I'm doing it this way, because they don't twist well for making a twist ribbon. And they don't tie real well for making a shoelace ribbon. So then I'm just tying the center closed, putting on some tails, gluing everything down. And putting that right down in front. And you can stop here. This looks darling, but I went ahead and decided that there was too much empty space up top. So I went ahead and used some more of my glitter tape and kind of eyeballed a straight line around the top. And then did another line of ribbon. This time I did do a shoelace bow because it was going to be much bigger. Longer tails, as it were. And glued that right in place. and cut the tails to the right size, get a little dovetail. These scissors have been in my family for like 3 generations. Those are some really old scissors. My dad kept them sharp. And there you go. Here she is, all completed, and you know, having the snow stuck to the side ended up being a happy accident because it looks like it's kind of snowing. So enjoy!